Because I'm a child and my parents are gonna pass this nation down to my generation. You touched on a lot of issues, and I wanted to know what you thought was the most pressing issue and how you're gonna fix it.
Yeah. What's your name? I didn't get your name.
Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin. How old are you, Caitlin? 11. Okay. Caitlin, I have 4 children, and having you stand up today kind of makes me miss them a little bit because my oldest daughter's 15, and then the next one is 13, and then my boys are 10 and 8, and hopefully they'll join me here on the campaign in the road soon. It's hard to be away from my kids because I'm never going to get these years back that I'm away. But I want to tell you why I'm running. Because I want them to inherit a country as special as the one that was given to me. To me, that's the most important issue. America changed the history of my family. When my father was 9 years old, his mom died. And so he had to go work and never went back to school. And he would never go back to school. He would work the next 70 years of his life. When they got here, they didn't know much English. In fact, the first words my father learned were my cousin, who had lived here a couple years, my older cousin, had written out phonetically on a piece of paper, "I am looking for work." And so he would go to places with his little sheet of paper and say that in his very broken English. And it was hard. They really struggled here for the first few years. Ultimately, though, they got their way. My dad became a bartender on a hotel on Miami Beach, and my mom ended up being a cashier, a maid, a stock clerk at Kmart. And my parents never became rich or famous. They never made a lot of money. But they were able to own a home, and they retired with dignity. And the most important thing for them was they lived to see all 4 of their children better off than themselves. There's no other place in the world where that would have happened. If my parents had gone anywhere else on this planet, I wouldn't be standing up here today. Because most places tell you you can only be what your parents were. And that's good news if your parents are wealthy and connected people. It's terrible news if they're not. My parents, thanks to God, happened to wind up in the one place on earth where that's not true. And that changed the history of my life and of my family's. And so why I'm running is because I want my 4 kids, and quite frankly, I want you, when you're my age, to live in a country that still is that. I want you, and I want my children, and I want that generation to inherit a country not just as good as the one that welcomed my parents, but one that's better. And we're losing that. We're losing that. You know, every country in the world has rich people. We're grateful, and we celebrate financial success. What makes us special are the firefighters, the police officers, the nurses, the teachers, our veterans. When you become a firefighter, you know you're not going to get rich being a firefighter. But your goal in life is to own a home, raise your family, afford Patriot season tickets, and retire with dignity. That's the American dream, and we're losing it. Because we have a president that's trying to make us more like the rest of the world. In essence, we have a president that's trying to make us more like the countries people come here to get away from. There is no way in the world I can stand by after everything America's done for me and watch that happen. My kids deserve to inherit a country as good or better than the one that my parents left for me and your parents and your grandparents left for your parents. And if I'm president, I will fight every day to make sure that happens.
And Senator, with that, we'll wrap it up.
Thank you.
Thank
I hope
you so
I can
much.
earn your vote. Thank you.